Hi everyone, my name is TJ Forsythe, and I'm a Business Solutions Executive here at Ironsides Technology. Today I'm going to be walking you through a brief video discussing how Ironsides and our core product, APT, which stands for Automated Production Tracking, helps our customers ensure they have a piece-level tracking solution and a total audit trail for all documents distributed throughout their factory. When having this conversation with my customers, and my prospects in the market, a question is asked is, why is piece level tracking so important? Why is it important to me, and why is it important that I provide this to my customers? Well, first and foremost, it ensures that 100% document integrity for all the packages that you're distributing, which can eliminate disruptions that can include missing, duplicate, double stuffed packages, all which result in negative end user impact. Anybody that's been in this business knows that they don't want to get the phone call about a double stuff. Piece level tracking is going to protect you, and it's going to protect your customers. You are the face of your customer when you're doing these distributions. By having piece level tracking, it eliminates all manual processing and risk associated to quality, reprinting, and package validation, while ensuring consistency in your compliance process. No matter where a job is processed, whether it's an inserter or whether it's a hand fulfillment station, you have a uniform and standard process and reporting associated to your piece level tracking. You're also able to provide a detailed audit trail on the packages and the components of your packaging, such as who processed the job, what was within the job, where was the job processed, when was it processed, what are the timestamps of each iteration of that job. This is all very important for piece level tracking. Piece level tracking is going to make sure you have good quality. Bad quality can be very, very expensive. There are many horror stories I've been a part of in my previous life working for a service bureau, such as having to upgrade orders due to missing an SLA, whether that's enhanced postage or upgraded freight. Whether a client fined us because that was language within our contract because of a distribution error we had. The labor, consumable, material, and work costs associated to resolving a mailing error that you can't bill your customer for. Unnecessary reprinting due to the inability to actually understand when you do think there's an issue inside of your plant, how widespread is it? A lot of people just say, you know what, let's just reprint the entire job. By not having piece level tracking, I see a lot of customers throw variable labor at their manual QC methods. You can start adding up daily hourly rates associated to managing your reprint process if it's manual. And then you start taking a look at the hourly rates associated to all the diagnostic, the research, the meetings, the corrective actions. When there is an issue, everything you have to do to be able to provide your customer an appropriate response. And last but not least, the loss of customers. Customers are our life's blood. If you have bad quality, you will lose your customers. So during the business justification process of why a customer should move forward with a piece level tracking solution, generally these are the areas we work with them on. If you don't have a piece level tracking solution, you essentially are burning money if you don't have a quality management process. So many people ask, how easy is APT to implement? I've been involved in a lot of installations. There's really 4 key criteria that goes in to producing an implementation for APT. First and foremost, we have to get a control file. So what that means is that's essentially an XML punch-out that comes from your industry standard solutions, such as composition and document reengineering solutions. We've worked with everybody in the industry. As you're putting your documents through the process of composing and indexing and barcoding those documents, you subsequently provide a control file into Ironsides. A lot of information can be included within this control file from a metadata perspective to help enhance reporting that you'll see later in this video. So here's an example of some of the job level manifest information that can be included. We also have customers that include piece level information. So versus saying, hey, this is piece number 1, I'm also saying, here's the addressee, here's their address. Maybe you put an IMB barcode. But this way, we take the control file into our system, and we know exactly what the tracking credentials of that job are. After that, you barcode your documents. So we can use, your traditional 2D barcodes. We can also use IMB barcoding. But that essentially is giving that document a unique identifier. This is a very standard practice inside of the industry. The third is figuring out, okay, are we going to integrate with your existing cameras, or are we going to install our own cameras? I will tell you, we've installed over 250 cameras in the marketplace, essentially on any vendor's piece of equipment. But we also take the approach of, if you do have camera systems within your environment and you're looking to leverage those, we think that that's a smart idea. So again, it doesn't matter the vendor, it doesn't matter whether you have cameras, it doesn't matter if you need cameras. We can work in any particular environment for you. At the same time, many customers come to us and say, I have a piece of work or a section of my work that's hand fulfillment, and whether it's flats or 10 by 13 or low volume, but that still requires the same level of integrity. Well, our agnostic solution is able to accommodate that, essentially by deploying hand scanners, and the operators, as they facilitate the work, execute those scans, and that really serves as the same recognition as if we got it from a camera at an inserter. So there's some very creative ways that we've helped our customers in this area, but the net result of that is that you have a uniform piece level tracking process for everything that you're distributing. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through the actual software and show you what APT looks like functioning on a floor. I'm going to focus specifically on the piece level tracking topic, and we'll be putting out some additional videos on other value proposition of the software. But essentially any piece of equipment that we're doing piece level tracking on has a section within our dashboard. So you can see, myself, TJ Forsythe, I happen to be running an NPS piece of equipment. I can see the job running at that piece of equipment. I can see some other information about that job. I know my good percentage versus bad percentage, what's the percentage complete of that job. And I can also go down into the actual device level. So this is what your inserting operators or your pressure seal operators or your hand fulfillment operators, this is what they would see. So as the camera or the scanner is picking up the barcode from the document, we're consistently calling that back into the database and versus a control file we received to ensure all the pieces are accounted for. We've received this information in good sequence. There's no missing pieces. There's no duplicate pieces. There's no potential double stuffs. And by doing this, we have a constant legend that the operators can see. We're constantly tracking the job properties and some of the detail information in the background, which is all being stored within our database, as well as the audit history of the job. So there's a lot of information that comes out of our APT tracking device, but this is the operator experience. So we have the capability for, if our cameras detect an issue, to stop a device. We have the capability to tie into diversion tables. We have the capability to establish custom business rules to say, I'm going to be in a touch and toss process. Or if I see an issue, I want to mark the piece before and after it complete. It's all configurable down to what makes the most sense for our customers. We don't ask you to follow a specific process. We fit into your processes. We certainly have feedback and recommendations based upon our experience, but our software is very configurable to accommodate where you want to go from a compliance standpoint. So this is, again, what you would see, whether it's an Ironsides camera, whether it's one of your existing cameras, how we are facilitating the piece level tracking. What's also important inside of the APT system is we have a lot of reporting and and visibility. So one of the things I run into in the market is many customers say, I have cameras, but getting the data is very difficult. Um, I have to go through a lot of different systems to get the information. It's very easy inside of our Ironside system to retain data. So you can see within this Job Explorer function, we have the capability to search by a particular job or an order, particular account. But let's use the example of you got a phone call, Alan Cooley is saying that he didn't receive his package. You simply go into keyword fields, you type in Alan Cooley, you produce a search, and you can say, okay, this job actually ran on 10/16/2019. Alright, it was the last time it was touched in a manual station by Kira. Let's take a deeper look into this particular job. So I then go into the job piece view, and again, because I've run off the keyword Alan Cooley, and this is an example of the information and metadata that you include in the control file, I actually know that this was a piece that was successfully processed. It was piece number 995 within the job, and it was successfully processed at 9:58 a.m. I don't see any issues here. So it gives you the capability to be able to go in and be able to get that historical information. That's just a small example. The functionality of Job Explorer is very, very robust. So what you can see here within the software is you essentially get to decide the date range of the reports you want to run. You get to decide whether you want to run it on a specific job or maybe all the jobs that were complete or in a specific process. There's many properties here that you see that can be added into these particular reports simply by clicking it. You get a drag and drop function that essentially enables you to decide how you want the reports to appear. These can all be exportable and emailed. We export into CSV. You can save down common templates. So really everything that happens from a distribution standpoint is reportable and accessible. One of the other functions I wanted to show you is a pull function. So many times within our manufacturing process, or our customers will say, I get calls from customers all the time, and they tell me I need to be able to pull pieces of material off the floor after they're already in production. And that is actually a pretty manual process for many of our customers. So we actually have the capability where, let's say an email comes into customer service, and okay, the Kendrick Garcia that's in the run for 115, I need you guys to pull that piece from production. And you're like, oh man, it's already been printed. What do I do? You simply find the piece, you select the piece, you can request a pull. You can say, pull for destruction, pull per, client services. You enter that, and then you can see we put a little black box here. What this means is when that job actually makes its way to the insertion device, our cameras will identify that, or your cameras or software will identify it and immediately stop or divert that piece because you've identified it as a pull. This way everything's audible, everything's traceable, you're not removing pieces of mail that you shouldn't be removing, all your paperwork is on the up and up. It's a very important thing. The last thing I want to show you from a piece level tracking standpoint is some of the reporting that comes out of our system. So we have about 200 reports, but when you start talking about piece level tracking, if you want to take a look at if I take a specific report example, I'm just going to copy over a number here. I'm going to copy a number into the, I'm sorry, that's what was happening, into the web portal. You'll be able to see some key functions out of the reporting. So, if I wanted to say, show me the piece processing history for this particular job, I simply run up the job, and it's going to show me every single interaction, whether, if I happen to be tracking in print, which for this job I was, I'm able to tell you what happened with each step within the process, right? From a job history standpoint, same thing. If you want to see where jobs are going through the particular departments and the timing associated to them, you can see every iteration of where a particular job went through. A lot of different information at your fingertips, and this all comes with the standard software. At the same time, we provide you the capability to manage your productivity. So when you think about, piece level tracking, yes, that's making sure your pieces are accounted for, making sure you have an automated reprint function, make sure you're eliminating a lot of manual processes, but you also need to be able to report and validate. So outside of the audit reporting, there's a lot of reports that help you manage expected pieces versus actual process pieces, managing your throughput and productivity at the device level, at the operator level, at the shift level, at the plant level, all with the ability to slice and dice down to the individual device or the individual operator. So certainly a lot of information at your fingertips. So really, the results, what you get from Ironsides and our piece level tracking solution, we can help you leverage your existing equipment no matter what the vendor. It's important to know we can install cameras, but we can also integrate with existing cameras. We can integrate your hand fulfillment operations into your piece level tracking process so you have one true command and control center for piece level integrity. We're going to help you automate your reprint process. We're going to help you eliminate all manual processes associated to quality and risk management. You're going to get robust custom and canned reporting that I just went through. Our database is 100% open, so data sharing with third-party systems is very, very easy. So that isn't closed data. You don't have to walk out to the PC to get the information. It's totally accessible to you. Our installations are very easy, quick, non-intrusive, and frankly very affordable. And the licensing and the hardware you receive is perpetual, meaning should you install and then 2 years later you decide to upgrade your piece of equipment, well, we just simply transfer that licensing and that hardware versus selling you a totally new license. So there's a lot of value that comes with Ironsides APT. And frankly, some of our customers have focused on the piece level tracking side and then expanded the solution to other pieces of their business because they see the value they are receiving. So thank you very much for watching this video. There will certainly be more videos we're going to be distributing. And if you want to talk a little bit more about piece level tracking, please don't hesitate to reach out to me, TJ Forsythe. So that's tj.forsythe@ironsidestech.com. And I look forward to speaking with you folks. Thank you.